Hey Cyclones fans, what's going on? Johnny Gadamowitz with you. We have the pleasure of now being joined by Jonah Tong, just up from St. Lucie, and we're so appreciative of his time. Jonah, thanks for coming on.
Anytime.
What have been your initial impressions of Brooklyn so far?
It's definitely a lot different than good old Port St. Lucie, I'll tell you that. I grew up in Toronto, so it's not much different, but first time actually being in New York, so it's kind of a really cool experience overall. Last year, it was a big development year. I said that a lot. Just trying to figure out who I was as a pitcher. Obviously battling a very brief injury at the beginning of the year, so it's just more about staying healthy throughout that remainder of the year, and then coming into this off season, it was more, okay, what are my weaknesses? How do I attack those, and hopefully it'll kind of like blend together really nicely, and so far it's coming. Back home, I'm from Toronto, Ontario, so there's a facility just outside near a place called Richmond Hill. It's where I played growing up with the Toronto Mets. That's pretty funny, but a couple buddies of mine, especially like Mitch Bratt, who's in the Rangers organization right now, so we just kind of communicate and go during certain times and train basically every day there and try to get one step better every day. So Ryan McBride and Rich Leach, they've given me every opportunity to develop not only as a person but through baseball, learning, growing some really, really nice friendships and just understanding the game a little bit more. I'm a little quirky.
How so?
I get a little animated here and there. It's just all pent up. It's nothing. Unusual. My mom always laughs at me every time she watches me throw. But no, I just go out there and try to compete like everyone else in that clubhouse for sure. It's just one pitch at a time, one step at a time, and let the game come to you.
All right, so take me inside your mind. Let's say it's bases loaded, 2 outs. You got a guy 3-2. What's the go-to out pitch for you?
Right now, it's been a slider. Really happy with how that's progressing, or a good old fastball up. Really works right now, especially with some of the ride I get. It's just, if I can get it there, it's generally in a good spot. A big thing I didn't do last year was I put myself in bad spots getting behind in counts. So this year I've been really trying to narrow that focus down, go after them early, and then floor it on the gas pedal, just keep going, and not holding off at all. Growing up in Canada, we are known as very nice people. So from that part, I owe it all to my parents. They've raised me in a way that I am today, and I owe them everything. Friends and family as well. Canadians are known to be in a colder climate, so when I got the call to come down here, I'm like, I'm going back home.
Right.
So
you're used to it.
Yeah, we're used to it.
Awesome. I know senior year of high school, transferred down to Georgia Prep Academy. What was that sort of year like, and how instrumental was that year or so in kind of getting you ready for the next level?
That entire year was pretty, chaotic. I started the year out in Arizona, did a small tournament there, and then went to Georgia Premier. Went there for about, 2 months, and then after that went to the draft league, and it was just getting to know different places, especially in the States, getting used to different climates, meeting obviously new people. And the biggest thing for me transitioning was I got to experience different cultures. Like for instance, at Georgia Premier, we have a lot of Latin players, so I got to start to learn some Spanish. And then in the draft league, we played in kind of ballparks like this beautiful one right here,
right?
And kind of understand like what to do as a professional day in and day out. Initially, it was just kind of like, oh wow, this is a lot different. Like you can't really get your feet set. But after a while, even like into this year, it's just more like second nature at that point.
Let's rewind to 2022, summer. Obviously, you got the phone call from the Mets, 7th round. Did it come as a surprise? I know you were slated to go to North Dakota State. Was it something that you kind of had a decent idea might have happened, or were you a little caught off guard?
I kind of knew a day before the draft that it might happen, but up until that point, I really wasn't too focused on it. I was just more focused on baseball and just everything else besides from the professional side.
Right.
And I had a really good connection with the area scout up in Georgia, Florida area. His name's Marlon Pfeil. Awesome dude. He really took me under his wing during that summer. So I kind of had a feeling like I could go to the Mets.
Right. We'll do a little rapid fire here before we say goodbye to close things up. We'll get to know Jonah Tong. All right, Jonah, favorite team growing up?
This is gonna come as a weird one, but I was a big Braves fan.
Really?
Yeah, I really loved like the team logos and colors and all that stuff. And didn't follow too closely on the players until Soroka was there not too well, during his rookie season. It was just
Okay.
phenomenal to watch.
I know you mentioned Soroka. Favorite player growing up?
Oof. I honestly didn't have one. I mean, from a Canadian side, I mean, Jose Bautista was pretty cool.
Sure.
Brett Cecil.
Okay.
Actually was my favorite player for the longest time. He was a J.
Yeah, that's a wild card.
Yeah,
Well, I
he was-
wasn't expecting to hear
So
that.
he was
from
one of
you.
the first players I've ever met. Like we had
Okay.
this little like meet and greet when we had our small travel team anyway, and we got to fist bump him. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is crazy.
There you
So
go.
he was my favorite player for a while.
Very cool. How about a favorite baseball movie?
Hard. I think 42.
Okay.
Really, really good movie.
Very nice.
Yeah.
And obviously Jackie Robinson, plenty of Brooklyn roots here for you as well. And now we'll finish it up with favorite ballpark food.
Oh, okay. So I'm a big popcorn guy. Like
Popcorn,
huge.
okay.
And then I'll dabble with a hot dog.
All right. Well, I was going to say here we got the original Nathan's right down the road. You
I
need to
may
get
or may
well
not
equipped
have to
with
go.
that, make a couple trips down the road. But Jonah, this was awesome. Thank you so much for the time.
Appreciate
Best of luck the rest of the way. Really appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
All right. That's Jonah Tong. Thanks so much for tuning in.